Assalamu alaikum, everyone. This is Wajiha, Raza, Rizvi. Uh, Thank you so much for joining us today. I will be presenting on current state and implications of gender-based digital divide in Pakistan, as suggested by Envision Pakistan and Dr. Asma Shahid herself. I would like to talk a bit about socio-cultural constraints in Pakistan. So, which means that sociocultural constraints for women, because sociocultural norms constrain women's mobility. And apart from that, it also constrains women ability to use digital technology, get education and work, and even look into their own health and other social and economic issues. Most common excuse behind this action is protecting the family's honor. Men think that they are protecting women's honor by limiting their opportunities for work, education, and mobility. So it means education, health, and work and business opportunities are less for women. It also limits women's interaction with wider society, because when women interact with people around them, society keeps an eye on their acts, and it reflects on their conduct. Recently, Pakistan's gender development index is the lowest in the South Asian region and amongst the bottom 30 in international ranking. The gender disparities in Pakistan are wide in regional and international comparison. Only a third of females have access to formal education as compared to half of their male counterparts. The female literacy rate in rural areas is only 26% compared to 47% for males. Labor force participation amongst women is only half, as opposed to men, and most of them worked as unpaid family helpers in agriculture, and most women still work as home workers. The employed women workers earn 1/3 of the average male income in Pakistan. On the average, if you look at women's participation in their family's livelihood, most families have 7 members. The number is slightly larger in Muzaffargarh district and smaller in Bulan district. I briefly looked at certain figures from 2009 to 2022, and I realized that 2/3 of women did not access any formal schooling, which is 1/9 for men, 1/9 of the figures for men. Gender gaps in education widen with age, which means that women have less opportunities for secondary level or tertiary level education. More than 3 times male complete matriculation than women. The overall level of formal schooling in Pakistan was 8% and 45% Bolan district in the first decade of the millennium, where the present rate of education has improved to 24%. The gender gap in education was highest in Batgram, 32% females versus 17% males in 2009, and these figures have also improved over past years. The more than 2/3 livelihood are based on agriculture, and women's income was 6,000 rupees, which was lowest in Bolan, and 9,000 rupees in Batgram back in 2008. I guess these figures are slightly improved at present. I am mentioning all these things because these are closely connected to women's participation in ICTs. Most electricity is a prerequisite for using ICTs, but census data against number of connections reported by the utility department suggests that access to grid electricity was only about 75% in 2016. It was 90% in urban Pakistan and 63% in rural. Pakistan's latest official household survey reported that 97.5% population has access to electricity, and 99.7% has access to electricity in urban areas, and 95.6% in rural areas. But we greatly face electricity outage, and as summer is coming up, we all know that electricity outage will increase both in urban and rural areas. It means this will have a strong impact on ICT's use. Women's mobility is also under strong impact in Pakistan. You can see this image from a film, Pakistan Education and Women, that I produced about 6-7 years ago. I would like to show you a clip from this video, and you can see that how people were reacting to women's education over a period of time. So the video actually is from this film, Pakistan Education and Women. And you can see this, I hope you can see this video clip. I'll briefly show you 10 seconds of it.
पांच छह जुमात पढ़कर फिर मोबाइल के जरिए फ्रेंडशिप बना देता है और फिर भाग गया है 3-4 केस इस तरह हुआ है
As you may have noticed that the male in this particular video clip was talking about women's use of cell phones. So you can see that it actually reflects on male fear about women using cell phones because they think that if they start using cell phones, it will increase their mobility and most women will actually run away from their homes. So basically, yes. Right. So this reflects on education on women. You can also see that the girls in the classroom are sitting far behind in the classroom and male students are sitting in front. This is a clip, 5-year-old clip, 5-6 years old clip, and they felt that if women go to normal schools or regular schools, they actually get exposed to families of boys and they know exactly where a boy comes from, and they thought it was a bad idea that women know where a boy or a girl is coming from. They thought if women were only going to madrasas, they will never learn where the boy was coming from. This is another factor which has a strong impact on women's access to or affordability of cell phones. So you can see that male-female workforce participation is very poor in Pakistan until 2022. So COVID-19 had a strong impact on women's education, work, and health opportunities. The impact of crisis was not gender neutral during 2019. Men had a higher fertility rate. Women had also, that COVID-19 had a strong impact on women's economic and social fallout. So in Balochistan district and certain districts of Pakistan where internet was not accessible to women because of electricity issues, boys and girls had strong issues, but women were under stronger impact. And most women, because they were restricted to their homes, they did not have work for during the period. So women and men went through strong impact on their health, education, and work opportunities during COVID-19. We can say the digital divide prevented women from accessing life-enhancing services and inclusion in virtual world for educational, financial, and health purposes. Lately, I realized that there are 2 studies from India and Africa in which women were taught how to use cell phones for their sexual and reproductive health, I guess, because these 2 studies were sponsored by UNICEF and IMCR. I would hope that some results, under the results, some studies will be conducted in Pakistan as well to improve women's health condition by using cell phones. So if you look in FATA districts, until 2016, mobile internet services have remained shut down. And COVID-19 pandemic means that women did not have access to classrooms during this period. And even in FATA district, women did not have access to education because of the internet issues during the COVID-19 period. Internet access in Pakistan stands at around 35%, with 78% with 78 million broadband and 76 million mobile internet connection issues. Most private companies invest in urban places and they do not like investing in rural areas. So actually we need to work on policies for women development in these areas. This image actually shows you the gender gap in internet access in different areas of Pakistan. You can see that males have more access to 4G while women hardly have access. Mobile sets are largely owned by male family members. Women need the permission of males for using cell phones. And as the video clip showed earlier, that women use of cell phone is attached to honor issues. So women are not encouraged to use cell phone. And many males feel that women will then run away if they were educated and they were using cell phones. So Pakistan has the widest mobile gender gap. 30%, 38% Pakistani women are less likely than men to own a mobile phone, and 49% are less likely to use mobile internet. We need to work on accessibility, affordability, and digital skills for women. And if we look at, in urban areas, women do have a lot of cell phone connections for creating their partial and full virtual identities. So urban women actually can think of what is written on the top here. They can think about virtual impressions and self-presentation while working online. In a study that, in a PhD study that Muhammad Farooq conducted under my supervision, we came across these figures that male and female use phone for about 4.5 hours daily. You can see that most men and women are using social media in urban cities. This is the data collected by about 1,000 men and women. You can also see that women are largely using cell phone for reporting violence against them. During COVID-19, violence issues against women increased, but they had less access to justice system during the COVID period. So in one of the newspapers reported very recently that a Pakistani girl found her father's murderer through social media very recently. Another girl who was feeling harassed by a male, she also conducted authorities by mobilizing the social media campaign against the harasser. In another study conducted by one of my students and myself on TV Place, we realized that women have access to cell phones and YouTube and other accounts. This was another urban study, and they are learning a lot about violence and harassment issues. Here, that we found that educated women are less likely to report harassment issues, and financially independent women, they stand against harassment more than others. So educated and financially strong women report harassment issues more than uneducated women. So basically, we know that they have been using digital technologies also for reporting all these kind of things. This is another study that I conducted myself on, on a BBC video of 3 minutes and 11 seconds. And this video actually presented 3 highly educated women. And we noticed that there were strong negative comments about their marriage and kids-related behavior and work involvement. These 3 women included Shahnaz Ramzi, who was Executive Vice President, Women's Chamber of Commerce Industry South. She was based in Karachi. Dr. Sarwat Ismail, who was Director General Planning and Development for Imran Khan when he was Prime Minister of Pakistan. And another interview was by the Associate Professor of Beacon National University. So we see that this is how people reacted, common men and women reacted to interviews of highly educated women. So we can see that people respond differently to education and work of women, especially when their interviews are broadcasted like this to larger community on social media. So we see we need to improve not only access, we need to work on perceptions, we need to work on confidence and safety of women, and we need to work on the behavior, social and behavioral change in Pakistan. So it will not only improve women's workability. So we need to collect it on these things. And I think it will not only help in developing social development goals and social framework, and it would be largely based on gender equality, which is necessary for both social and economic reasons. And the internet access alone will increase women's income 30%. And it will also increase job opportunities for women for 45%. And I guess we can work together to improve women's freedom and ability for education, economic, and growth and success in life. Thank you very much.